The national champion is clad in big orange.
The pitch. Swing and a miss. That's the ball game. The national champion is clad in big orange.
Pat Summit and Destiny have met 7 times before. Tonight is number 8.
Tennessee Volunteers have wrapped up an SEC outright regular season title. Connect with
the SEC runs through Rocky Top. Tennessee wins the SEC regular season crown for the 2nd consecutive season.
the 1-0. In the air, right center field. Cross on the move. Will get there. Tennessee walks it off. It's a mismatch. Deep green. Come on now. They don't connect. Probably trying this time. Indeed. New hand jam. Down the middle. Got it on the fly. It's high and again. And he's going to take it. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Hey, how much fun is this?
Man, Rocky Top, this is college football at its absolute best.
College athletics at its absolute best, or is it? You know, we're going to talk all about that tonight, that's for sure. But I'm Michael, my co-host Skylar, man. Welcome in to the Fanatics Show. And Skylar, man, how you doing tonight?
Man, I am doing all right on this Tuesday night of Masters Week. And, yeah, we treat that like a federal holiday around here. So, no, man. Also, I'd be remiss to say that it's game week for a fall sport. And spring game is this Saturday as well. So, man, what a fun weekend we got coming up. How could you not be doing okay this time of year, man? We just celebrated Easter. He is risen. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah, man. And we had a great week, brother. How have you been?
Man, cannot complain at all. You know, as you said, you know, Easter weekend this past weekend. Remember what that is about. You mentioned it as well. I'm not as big into the Masters as you are, but obviously, I mean, the Masters is a huge thing, and I enjoy it as well. But orange and white game, super stoked to be going to that this weekend as well. Gonna be my son's first Vol event as well, so we're all going up there, hoping to enjoy the weekend as well. But it's a very exciting time of year, and looking to have a lot of fun this weekend, man.
Yes, sir, man. I wish y'all all the best. Safe travels on y'all's way in, and I would be joining you if it weren't for me and my family celebrating my great-grandmother's 90th birthday on Saturday. So that's going to be exciting.
Family first, man.
Absolutely.
Family first all the time.
So before I get into the rundown with Michael, man, I want to let you guys know, thank y'all for tuning in, by the way, so far. I just want to let you guys know who our presenting sponsor is, and that is P&L Business Services. We know firsthand that getting your monthly reporting, invoicing, bill pay, taxes, and other business services right is critical. That's why at P&L Business Services, we go beyond bookkeeping by providing you with everything you need in your back office so you can have your time back and the peace of mind to do what you love most, which is building your business. Behind every successful business is a great bookkeeper. Guys, you know, bookkeeping is uber important. It literally is probably the single most, I don't have a stat on this, but small businesses die because of taxes and like not doing your books correctly. So if you know you've got stellar customer service, you're trying to not get burnt out and you want to do the right thing, you just want to do the main thing, right? Guys, just let P&L Business Services out of Oak Ridge, Tennessee take over the books, man. Let that be a weight lifted off of y'all's shoulders. They take care of it from start to finish. You ain't even got to worry about a thing, and then you can continue delivering that great customer service that we all know that you have. So, you know, the key to a forever lasting business is you doing a great job, but also trusting P&L Business Services to do the bookkeeping behind it. So we appreciate them and their continued support since day one. Michael, what is the rundown tonight? As we got Tennessee Football 247 in the chat said, I'm worried about college sports. And I think we're going to talk a little bit about maybe why he and other fans across the country are worried about the state of college sports right now. What's the point in buying a jersey for your favorite player for 1 year?
You know?
And then he comes in and says, maybe we need to make contracts like the NFL. That cannot happen unless they have a players association. But
there's got to be all sorts of laws passed for that to be able to happen.
Which
you know,
Donald
just-
Trump, in the midst of all this craziness, I'm not going to get into it because it's political, but like he still did some work to maybe push some things right in the right direction as he's
Yeah.
executive order. What I don't know what he actually signed. I didn't follow it, but I know he put something in place, a bill's in place to limit the amount of transfers, right? So I don't know. It's still got to go through the courts, of course, but man, hopefully that'll actually get something going.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see, but I'm not gonna hold my breath on the time being.
No.
I don't even know. I don't
Never.
even know many of the details behind all that. I hadn't paid a whole lot of attention to it, but tonight's rundown. So, those of you that have watched us for a significant amount of time, you know that we like to spend these shows recapping recent games, things like that. We're gonna change things up a little bit tonight. Tonight, because of all the different things going on in college sports and in particular Tennessee sports, we're going to talk about the state of Tennessee programs. Obviously, Tennessee men's basketball just ended with an Elite Eight run. Pretty successful season overall, wouldn't you say, Skylar?
Yeah.
The women's basketball, on the other hand, not so successful. Had a very, very, let's just put it bluntly, a terrible last 2 months of the season. You're looking at the baseball team that is very up and down. A lot of questions around that program as well. Even the softball team that started off so hot, they were the last remaining undefeated team in college softball, struggling a little bit as of late. And then let's not forget that football, we're about to go into spring practice. There's a lot of question marks around it too. So we're just going
About
to
to end spring practice, but yes, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, we're just going to talk about all of these sports, kind of give our thoughts on it. And then at the end of the show, our very own insider, Skylar, is going to give us a little spring practice report. He was actually at practice today.
I don't recall being at practice today. What are you talking about? How did you know that? I didn't take no pictures there. Not allowed to. So
maybe not allowed to. But,
no pictures taken, no proof, Michael. I don't think I was there, buddy. I'm sorry. No, I was at the practice today, man. It was fun, actually. I got to see an hour. It was the final hour, right? They practiced from 8 to 11. We got to watch the 10 o'clock hour. So yeah, it was fun, man. I will let you guys know what I seen. Spoiler, wasn't much, but I will let you guys know.
Yeah, so the way we'll split it up, we're going to do segment 1. We'll talk about men's and women's basketball and talk about the baseball team. Then once we're done talking about baseball, we'll give our segment 2 sponsor, and then we'll talk a little bit about softball, football, and then Skylar will give the spring practice report. So let's get into all of this. We got a loaded show. We'll give you our segment 1 sponsor, which is Optimal Asbestos Services. Optimal Asbestos Services offers detailed asbestos inspections and air quality assessments. Whether you're looking to secure your home or workplace, you can trust Optimal Asbestos Services to deliver thorough and reliable solutions. You can contact Jeff Moll at 865-223-3297 for your consultation today, or go on the web at optimalasbestosservices.com. So, Skylar, first let's talk about Tennessee men's basketball first. Be kind of a little bit on the higher note there. Tennessee men's ended with a fantastic season overall. But now obviously the transfer portal has hit. And Tennessee is taking some, how do you put it? Some kind of mind-boggling hits starting off. Some guys that you never would have thought entered the portal. It started off with the most surprising, in my opinion, JP Estrella entering the portal. That's a guy that, he's been all vol since he came in here. And, he's that social media presence. He's a fan favorite. He's going to give you everything that he's got. And he entered the portal. And a lot of fans at that point started asking questions. So what were your thoughts whenever you saw JP Estrella hit the portal?
My thoughts were that to some kids, money does outweigh loyalty, and that just is the way it is. I think JP Estrella, just from hearing rumbles, I think that he felt like he was worth more than what Tennessee was willing to pay. I think Tennessee's not necessarily in the wrong for that. also think that there's an element of this that Rick Barnes may be changing identities. And I know this for a fact that he is at least encouraging some of our players to actually hit the portal, because our very own Jalen Carey mentioned multiple times that if Tennessee would have him, he is coming back. Well, he hit the transfer portal, so that shows me that we didn't want him. So at the end of the day, I think Rick Barnes is going through some changes. I think he's changing his absolute, everything around his program, his identity. I think he's going after maybe more offensive-minded players that he knows he can coach some defense into, rather than just trying to find some defensive players that make and score, which I like that. I hate that we're losing some of our, quote-unquote fan favorite players, but at the end of the day, man, I'm a fan of Tennessee, not a fan of a player. So, that's just the way I have to look at it. That's the way I encourage all of our fans to look at it, because in this day and age, you can't get attached to one player.
That's the big thing is, all of us growing up before the age of the transfer portal, before NIL and all this stuff, you could have fan favorite players and you could grow to love them because you knew that more than likely they were going to grow up in the program. They were going to be there 3 years, 4 years, whatever the case may be. It's a different day and age now with the transfer portal, with NIL and all that. You could have a totally different roster going into next season. Little spoiler alert for what's to come for one of the sports later. But,
it's Tennessee too. It's the men's basketball program too. I mean, if I don't recall, you mentioned JP Estrella is kind of what got things rolling, right? And then I teased that Jalen Carey's also in the portal, but let's literally go through the roster here. I'm looking at it. You had let's go through who's all graduated or out of eligibility, right? That's Jacoby Gillespie. That is Grant Hurst. Felix Okpara. I'm gonna throw Nate in there because he's going to the draft. He's going to NBA.
Are you sure? We had this conversation last week.
No, you had this conversation last week. I told you even last week that he's going. He's dumb if he doesn't. Okay, so
he's still on the roster right now.
Really? We really about to go through this?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Nate Ament is gone. Okay, let's keep this simple and short, sweet here. Let's see. And then
Amari Abrams.
Yes, Amari Abrams. Thank you. He was a senior as well. So that's your graduated or out of eligibility type players. Now, Jalen Carey, JP Estrella, buckle up. Jalen Carey, JP Estrella, Cade Phillips, Clarence Masamba, Bishop Boswell, and Amari Evans have all hit the transfer portal.
See, Amari Evans was one that surprised me.
He was one of the last. Yeah, he was one of the last.
I was gonna say not necessarily because he entered the portal, but because I didn't know he had until I pulled up the list right here. This must have happened within the last couple of hours. Yep. But yeah, that's 6 players there.
To keep Amari Evans, man, that one.
Yeah, that one hurts a little bit.
I thought he shined in that one game that Jacoby, I think, or Nate Ament couldn't play in. He shined. I mean, he scored like 20-something points, and I'm like, this is the type of player that he could take that leap in year 2. And we're not going to see it, unfortunately. So,
out of all of these players here, I feel like Amari Evans has got the most potential out of all of them. So, to me, that one hurts the most. But that's 6 players right there. That's 4 players completely out of eligibility. That's 10. Skylar is counting 11 with Nate Ament. I'm not totally there yet. So, right now...
Buddy, you got to take off the orange glasses on that one. You got...
I'm just saying, there's a possibility that he doesn't go.
I think the biggest blow, you're going to probably go to one player, and I hate to cut you off, but I'm going to go ahead and jump the gun and say the biggest blow, and this is because I literally mentioned it last week, is I thought we still had 3 very capable bigs, and then hopefully we could just add one to that rotation again.
Yeah.
Now you've literally lost all but Dwayne Brown.
Yeah, that. So
losing
let's go
Cade
to the
Phillips and JP Estrella, Jalen Carey, like that was. I mean, that's rough, man.
I mean, let's go to the good side of things now. Is Dwayne Brown is coming back?
He is.
That has been announced.
True sophomore season next year.
So yeah,
and
Dwayne
honestly,
Brown
he is. I gotta be honest with you. I think he's as big as Jalen Carey. Just He's maybe 10 or 15 pounds lighter, but he's a lot more athletic.
Like he's a lot more athletic. He's got a better skill set than Jalen Carey is.
I agree.
Jalen Carey
I think, and I know he can
more
shoot free throws
fundamentally
better.
sound.
So, and he can finish at the rim better. So I do think we're getting a better player of the two. But Dwayne Brown needs help around him now. I mean, he is very simply the only Vol on the roster, maybe besides Gavin Paul.
Oh, you got Ethan Berg is still.
Oh,
still
okay,
there
Ethan
now.
Berg. Yep, that's right. Campbell Duncan, but I don't even think he's a scholarship player.
Those two that you mentioned are they're walk-ons.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So yeah. All right, let's ride, baby.
Yeah.
So yeah, what is the state of this?
Here.
Why is it?
So I think you hit the nail on the head. This is, I've seen. Oh, we also got Troy Henderson. He's still there.
No, he's
obviously going. Are you sure?
I know for a fact he hit the transfer portal.
Well, he hasn't been listed on GoVols 247 right now. That's what I'm looking at.
Okay.
So he might end up in the portal. Don't know for that for certain. But right now he's not listed on GoVols 247. But
fair enough.
What this tells me is exactly what you said. That two things. One, Coach Barnes is trying to build a roster that, kind of changes identity. He's trying to go for a more score first type roster, but that he can kind of mold the defense into them. So he's still a very defensive minded coach, but he realizes in this day and age, you've got to have the offense. I mean, very first thing that he said going into next season, we got to go out and get more shooters.
Yeah.
So he realizes that. And another thing, did you see what Tennessee was projected to spend on their roster in Tennessee basketball for next season?
North side of $15 million, right?
Okay, you had seen more than I had. I had seen $10 million.
Okay, 10. My fault. I might have exaggerated that number a little bit. Just to put in perspective, for basketball to spend over $10 million, our football team, when we went to the playoff, didn't even spend $10 million. That's crazy.
Yeah.
How fast it's evolving.
But what this tells me, if they're projected to spend that much, Tennessee is going to be willing to pay, but they're not going to be willing to overpay, which is why you've seen players like J.P. Estrella, like Bishop Boswell, like Cade Phillips, like Jalen Carey. You've seen these players right here that are talented enough. They're players that Tennessee would probably like to keep, but they don't. They feel like that the money that those guys want is too much for what they need going into next season if they're wanting to build an elite roster.
They're great players that fit the system. I'll give them that.
Yep.
But they can't go out and get you a win. None of those players are worth spending double probably what they were asking because simply I want to stay here, coach, but I do feel like I'm worth XYZ or, this other school is going to pay me XYZ to go there. At that point, and exactly what Rick Barnes has done, you shake the kid's hand, say, man, go make that money, go do you, and best of luck to you. But unfortunately, we can't do that like that. And I applaud Rick Barnes for being able to do that because I feel like Rick Barnes is such a family man, such a coach, like a guy that's like, hey, I went out and recruited these kids. I know their families. I've ate at their houses. Like, it's got to be such a hard conversation to have in those player evaluations to basically, part ways. And so, like you said, J.P. Estrella, being one of those players that's just always seemed to have embraced Vol Nation and everything it means to be a Vol. And I think none of that necessarily goes away. But at the end of the day, J.P. Estrella, maybe another reason why I think he's not necessarily worth as much as maybe he's demanding is, do you really see him having an NBA career?
Probably not.
So he's got to make the money now. So, at the end of the day, I don't fault either side. It's just the way the sports are these days. I just applaud Rick Barnes for not being stubborn and hard-headed and just, being able to cut ties, I guess, to go get bigger and better and stronger and faster players. And understand at the end of the day, it's a business. And I think Rick Barnes is desperate. I hate to say that word. He's just went to 3 straight Elite Eights. But the moves he's making this offseason it shows me that he feels like he only has a little bit of time left in his coaching career, and he's got to go get it.
That's the thing right there. He doesn't have a whole lot of time left. And if he wants to go out and win a natty, he has absolutely got to be able to go out and get guys that can get him that. So Vandy Chris says, the problem with this mentality of scoring is in the SEC, we don't face the defensive pressure that teams like Iowa, Nebraska, Michigan, etc. play. I'm going to slightly disagree with that. I feel like there's some very, very defensive-minded teams in the SEC. They play a lot of tough defense, but I will say it's a different style of defense than what some of those teams in the Big Ten play. So I see your point there, Chris, but I'm going to disagree with it slightly as well. So I feel like that these teams are tested, but they're not tested with the style of defense that some of these Big Ten teams play.
Chris said that 18 teams that made the field of 68 are planning to spend $10 million or more.
Yeah. I don't doubt it. I mean, you've got to in this day and age.
But to answer your question about the state of the basketball program, man, I'm actually not that worried. I know people are going to compare. People are going to compare the women's team to the men's team like it's apples to apples and say, wow, Rick Barnes has only been able to retain 2 players. What's the big difference between him and Kim Caldwell? The difference is because Rick lost his players after player evals when they're demanding more money and Rick's not willing to do it. Or Rick is, because he's changing identities, is basically urging these kids to hit the portal because he's going to go find kids that fit his new identity, right? So Kim Caldwell's ladies, bluntly, they quit on her. They were out, right? And so that's a whole different program. And all is not lost with the women's program. We're going to get to it in just a second. But, yeah, I think with the men's, I'm not near as worried. I just think this is an identity change that Rick Barnes is going through. And I'm happy that we kept Dwayne Brown. But everybody else, I don't wish bad blood on them. I don't feel like they hate the University of Tennessee. I just think they got to go get the money now while they can. And they probably wanted a bigger role in the program. And Rick Barnes is probably being bluntly honest with them, saying, no, I'm going to go recruit somebody in the portal, and you're not guaranteed to be our number 1 guy or whatever. So, I think that's just some stuff that maybe rubbed the kids the wrong way. They felt like maybe they could go play a bigger role, make more money somewhere else. And at that point, I don't blame the kid at all. You only get 4 years, make the most of it. It is what it is.
Yeah. So let's look real quick before we move on to the women's basketball, who we have on the roster right now. So we've already mentioned you got Dwayne Brown, and you have got Ethan Berg coming back.
I do not think we have Troy Henderson.
Troy Henderson is up in the air. I'm not seeing it on GoVols 247, but Skylar has seen that he has entered the portal. And now that you say that,
on Facebook, but almost every single thing has been right that I've been looking at. So I mean,
now that you say that, I do remember seeing a report somewhere that it looked like he was entering the portal.
Maybe he's put in his intent, right? Maybe that's what it was.
Maybe, but I know GoVols 247, looking at it right here, he's not on there as of yet. Tennessee also has 3 high school signees coming in. You've got a 6'8" small forward from ING Academy, Ralph Scott, as a 4-star. And you also have 4-star Manny Green, also a small forward, 6'6" from Cedar Grove coming in. And then the last one, you've got a 3-star point guard, Marquise Clark from Whitney Young in Chicago. So you've got a point guard, you got 2 small forwards. With Ethan Berg, you've got a shooting guard, and Dwayne Brown, you've got a power forward on the roster right now. So the roster is wide open. You need a you also got the Tyler Lundblade.
Oh yeah.
Tyler Lundblade from Belmont. That kid is a sharp
40+% from 3.
40% 3-point shooter, made 115 of them last year.
Shooter.
Yeah, so thank you for that, Chris. I had it here on my screen now. I just forgot to say his name. So that's 6 players that you got on the roster right now, and the roster is wide open as far as who else you need. I feel like you need some athletic big guys that can score. You need a couple more shooters, and you need a experienced point guard on this roster.
We need shooters, and we need ball handlers. I can't wait to see what it looks like, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's move on to the Lady Vols, because we got a lot to talk about with the Lady Vols. So
what do you do about Kim Caldwell? I don't think there is anything to do. I think you have to have her back, man. She is your coach for the next year. Period. Point blank. So you've got to support her and show the recruits coming in or the transfers coming in and visiting that you've got your coaches back. You've got to rebuild. At this point, it's a clean slate. Mm-hmm. You almost have to treat Kim Caldwell almost like she's a new it's a brand new team. It's a brand new team. It's a brand new system at this point. You've already gotten rid of an assistant head coach. You've already hired one. I think today there was a hire of an assistant coach. But you've got to have her back, and you've got to show her some support. And she's gonna have to perform. That's a no-brainer. But it's gonna be an impossible task to complete if you don't show her some support.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, with literally every single player leaving, either due to no eligibility left or to the transfer portal, you have to bring Kim Caldwell back, because if you bring a new coach into this situation right here, then you're talking about a program that right now seems like it's rock bottom, literally going to rock bottom, bringing in a new head coach, having to completely reset everything. Mm-hmm. So I'm actually in the minority of a lot of people right now that I think this reset right here that Kim Caldwell is doing, it is a great thing.
I think now, it's unfortunate the way it happened.
Yes.
But I think that's the only way you were going to be able to get out the bad apples.
Yep. So let's talk about kind of what happened for a minute. Obviously, nobody knows other than the people in the program exactly what happened. I don't think we ever will. Kind of like the Nico Imaliava situation, the Boo Carter situation. Sure. But let's talk about what has come out. So what we saw to start with, we knew that halfway through the year, something happened with this team, because they were 6-0 in the SEC. Granted, we had mentioned it. You played some lower tier competition in the SEC starting off, but you had a very good season going on, even in non-conference play. You were looking really good, one of the hotter teams in the country, and then all of a sudden, a switch flipped. And I can tell you exactly when it happened. It was that Mississippi State game before we played against UConn on the road. You remember that one, Skylar?
I do.
We played against Mississippi State at home and just no-showed in that game. I mean, Mississippi State just absolutely dogged us on our own home court.
Then we turned around and played Texas in that 3-game stretch or whatever, and we actually played them very, very tight.
Yes.
And still lost that game by like 2 points. And then it kind of derailed from there.
Yeah, it absolutely derailed. You won 2 games over the final, 14 games of the season.
That sounds about right.
That included the SEC tournament. It included going one and done in the NCAA tournament. And it just looked like the girls quit on her. And, Coach Caldwell even called out her team and said, we got people that just, when things go hard, they quit. And that was something that we could see. And, of course, the conversation at that point was, okay, is it the players? Is it the coaching? And I think it was a combination of both. And what has come out as of recently kind of makes sense. So the rumor has it, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is because there's been very reliable sources that have said this is kind of what's going on. And it even went out on 99.1 The Sports Animal the other afternoon. If anyone likes to listen to Tyler and Will in the afternoons, it was brought on there that there was an assistant coach, one of the 2 that was fired. It wasn't named who it was, but we know it was one of the 2 that was fired, started telling players not to trust Kim Caldwell. Basically, telling them that they didn't need to kind of do what she was saying. They just needed to kind of keep going through the motions, that type of deal. And of course, I'm paraphrasing. I'm not actually saying what was quoted on there, but basically there was animosity among the team at that point. And I don't know if the players gravitated towards that or they didn't know what to believe at that point. But you could tell that there was a split among the team, from the coaches, the players, all of this. But yes, that's the other thing. All of this has been refuted by the players. All these players said that it was untrue. But here's my counter to that, is that these players trying to defend a coach because they liked him, because it was a him, the 2 coaches that were fired, they were both male coaches. Was it just them trying to defend this coach? That way it didn't look bad on him? or is it something that is completely untrue? That's one of the things that I don't think we will ever know. But regardless, Kim Caldwell had to get rid of that. All these players had to go, and she needed to turn around and wipe the slate clean, just like it has happened so far.
Yeah, I mean, whether she had to or not, it happened, and I don't think she really had much control of this from happening. I think everybody knew as soon as the season ended that you were going to lose. I thought we were going to lose about half the team. I didn't realize we were going to lose the entire team. Vanny Chris said, have a unique view of this. My team had all of the players quit and canceled a season. You have to move on. My school did, and in 4 years, and in year 4 was back in the NCAA tournament. So I think he's saying that if we go into this next season and the same thing happens, but the players quit in the middle of the season, that's not going to happen, man. That's not going to happen. At the end of the day, the players are still getting paid, and they're not going to get paid if they quit the season. So, that's not going to happen.
And here's another take that I have on it too. Do you also think that there was just too many personalities in that locker room, that as far as players go, too many players that wanted to be kind of the player out there that has something to do with it, and that's another reason why this team didn't gel the way that they should have?
Man, I don't really know why the team didn't gel. I don't know why a player quit because she felt like she was entitled to playing time just because she was a senior. I mean, there's so many different things that I don't necessarily know the answer to. All I do know is that the locker room was a mess. Because if they were a true sisterhood, none of this would have ever happened. So Penn State comes on here and says, y'all need to talk about Kim Caldwell messing up a legacy team. What are we talking about right now, Michael?
That's exactly what we're talking about. But
I'm not
going to say that Kim Caldwell messed it up.
Not yet.
I agree. Not yet.
Because as far as we still made every single tournament. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what's messed up about it. The way I see it, there was a locker room issue going back to last year. Why do you think we had to get rid of one of our players because she got into legal trouble in the offseason? I'm telling you, I think we had bad apples in the room, but the problem is when you're a coach and you know somebody's a toxic player in the locker room, and I'm not naming names, but let's just say they're one of the best players you got on the roster. How do you handle that? How do you punish a player when your job and your life depends on that player, right? And hindsight, I get it. It always wins, but that's a tough spot to be in for a year 2 coach and her first time in Division I ball. I mean, that is a tough spot. So I don't know, but I do know that she gets a clean start. She needs support from Denny White. I don't care how people, some people are coming down hard on him. I don't care. He needs to show support. He doesn't need to open his mouth right now because nobody's going to like what he's got to say. And then we need to build this roster back up. And we did not lose all of our recruits, by the way. We lost a recruit. She was the best recruit we had. But we still have another 5-star signed. We have 2 very highly rated 3-stars. And Kim Caldwell is going to work on the transfer portal, man. It is what it is. We got money. And we're about to spend the crap. I mean, that's one good thing. When you lose so many players like this, all the money you had allocated to those players, you now are able to use to go get new players. So it's not even like we're spending a lot more. We're just better spending our money. So I mean, I don't know. I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing for a fresh start. I don't think it was a good thing that it happened. Let me be very clear on that. Is it that the system Caldwell runs has never worked in the SEC, never will? Unfortunately, that fun and gun style has been tried many times in the SEC and failed every time. I just disagree. Everybody said that about Josh Heupel's offense too, and he's running it right now.
It might fail, but I think that last year we saw hints of success of it. What you saw this year was when Tennessee played their best, they were playing that fun and gun type style like he's talking about. They were pressing the crap out of people, and it was working. But when they went away from it for whatever reason, whether that be on Coach Caldwell, whether that be on the players, the assistants, whatever, that's when Tennessee struggled. So I think that they just need to run the system, and they need to stick with it. And if you fail because you stuck with it, you won't hear me complain at all. But if you're going to try to change things mid-season and it doesn't work out, if you're just going to keep, all right, we'll try it for a little bit, and if it doesn't work, then we'll go to this. If you're not going to stick with something, then I have a problem with it. But ultimately, where I'm at right now with Kim Caldwell, is this a bad situation? Yes, it is. But is it something that she can work her way out of? Absolutely. I will say this, though. If it doesn't work out this year, then you need to move on.
Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer. Man, I'm just trying to do a little bit of research, but I'm not finding it very easily. What is because Vandy Chris said we only have one player signed a national letter of intent, but who has committed to the Lady Vols? Because I heard on the Eric Kane show that we still had a 5-star committed and 2 3-stars committed by Brian Rice, and that is a very good source. So I hate that. I mean,
I do know that we've got one. I cannot remember what her name is. I mean, Brian Rice will be the one to know because he is, play-by-play guy. He would know
what I was
about
talking
that.
about, man.
I cannot find that. That's one thing I don't like about Go Vols 247 is they got men's basketball and football, but there's nothing about the Lady Vols.
Yeah, it's fine. Whatever. It is what it is. But I'm telling you, it's we'll be all right. It's fine. Gabby.
Yeah, that's soft.
Gabby Minus? Maybe? I don't know.
That sounds right. Let's see. 2026 high school recruits for Tennessee. So the one I'm seeing, Gabrielle Minus, she is committed. I believe she is signed. That's the only one I'm seeing on here.
Yep, that's correct. Right on. I don't know.
I
I don't know
guess
what
we'll
Brian
see.
Rice was talking about them, but he absolutely said there was 2 other people committed, but he never named them. But
And
that was
there's some pretty talented players that are visiting Tennessee from the transfer portal
Today.
as well.
She's getting visits in right now, so it is what it is, man. But the as far as the current state of the program, I mean it's terrible. Like I'm not gonna sugarcoat that, but at the end of the day, you've got to show her support as a fan base, as a program from the top down. Continuing to slander / whatnot. That's not only gonna make her not believe in herself. That's gonna get every player, every recruit. Now, at the end of the day, what's gonna happen is if we can't get players here, we just have to lower the bar for the caliber of player we're going for, right? But I can promise you right now, if I was a lady, right, and I knew I wasn't really good enough to play at the University of Tennessee, which blows, but I get that phone call one day and they're like, "Hey, we need players." Like,
Absolutely.
I'm saying yes. I don't care what the state of the program's in. I'm saying yes. And that's not even just because I'm a Tennessee fan. I'm just saying, like, if Alabama was my only offer in Division I, I'm still not going. F them. No, I'm joking.
No,
man.
You would suck it up. You would put on that crimson.
Probably.
You would never say the words RT.
For a hope that I could transfer to Tennessee, but almost like a, out of spite. Like, yeah, this is what you get for not looking at me. You know what I mean? I don't know, but like, that's just the way it's going to have to be. But Kim Caldwell's got a chance to fresh start, right? Go to sleep, raise that little boy that you had last year, enjoy some family time, recoup, recover, and go hard this year. She's got to be the hardest working person on campus, legitimately. She's got a lot to work for. So, y'all are pretty chill. Thanks for being cool, Vandy. Man, I appreciate you, big dog. Good discussion. Yeah. I appreciate you being tuned in, man. I know it's kind of crazy being tuned into a Tennessee show, but we always treat our little bros nice. So I appreciate you, big dog.
On
to baseball. We're not going to talk about baseball right now, but I'll get to your question. What do you think of the job Josh Elander's done? Yeah, we're going to get to that later. Tune in later. What's the next sport you want to talk about? Do you want to go to baseball since we have viewers? Let's do it then. All right, so let's just start with this. What do you think of the job that Josh Elander's done? As a college baseball junkie, this seems very reminiscent of the Dave Serrano days. Sorry. Man, I'm not overreacting. This team is not that bad.
No, it's not. I mean,
it's very unfortunate the way we're losing games, and I do think he's doing a terrible job managing the bullpen. But it's his first year as a head coach. You've lost like 5 of your 8 SEC losses via the walk-off, dude. Like, I'm not stressing. Tony Vitello, now granted, he's the best college baseball coach Tennessee's ever had. He had a team start out 5-10 in SEC play and turn around and go to the World Series. Yeah. I'm not that worried about the stuff. I just hate the way they're losing. I hope it doesn't have like a mental effect because of the way we're losing these games. You know what I mean? Like a domino effect, like a trickle-down effect, almost like a disbelief. Like we just keep finding ways to lose. I hope that they rather see the fact that we are like a hit in 6 different ball games from being like a 12-2 in the SEC type of team. You know what I mean? Like, I understand it is what it is, but I'm not overreacting. I think this is okay. The offense, I wish would step it up a little bit, but I think Josh Elander's even just trying to figure out a way, like what lineup's best. Blake Grimmer's coming into his own. Like, we've got some guys that are coming through. We just got to get it a little bit more consistent, man. It is what it is.
But in most games, the offense has been just enough to give Tennessee a chance to win.
Same, man.
But, you know, the starting pitching has been there as well. And I'll even say
I even love the rotations that he did.
Yes, the guy after the starting pitching has been good too. But once you get to that bullpen, trying to close things out, that's where things have gone terribly.
I hate to put the LSU series on like a player, but I will do this because I know he expects better of himself, and he even redeemed himself, sort of. Brandon Arvidsson had his worst outing of his career.
He did in game 1.
LSU in game 1. The worst outing of his career. Walking 3 straight to set up that grand slam. Terrible. Mm-hmm. And that solely is what lost us the series. Period.
Well, we had that game. I mean, that right there, and the fact that you let one player beat you in game 3.
Wait, yeah, that was insane. But but I'm even taking the game 3 loss, man. You win that game. If Brandon Arvidsson doesn't walk, the bases loaded, and then you give up that grand slam, that's a win. And then you won game 2. That's a series win. Doesn't matter what happened in game 3. Game 3, that's a whole nother discussion. That's crazy. Brandon Arvidsson played very well in game 3, by the way. Yep. But he got yanked, I think, a little bit too early. But, you know, it is what it is. But I know Brandon Arvidsson expects better out of himself, and I'm glad he got the chance to redeem himself that same weekend against that team. And I think he's going to be a key piece for us in the future. He's one of our experienced leaders in that bullpen. And I think you're going to see that dog. I wish you would lay off the fastballs a little bit. I think it's a little bit too level, a little bit too easy to hit. But that sweeping slider, curveball, whatever he's got, that thing is nasty, dude. It is nasty. So.
Now here's my answer about Josh Elander. I think that he has been he's done a pretty good job overall, but let's not forget that this is his first time ever being a head coach. Now, that's not an excuse because he has got plenty of experience. He's been the associate head coach for the last several years for Vitello as well, and we all wanted him as head coach. I think that was the right hire by Danny White. The players wanted him.
We didn't have like a single player lead the program when he was named head coach.
Not a single one. That's exactly who everybody wanted.
We had a few recruits that declared for the draft or went, but not a player on that program left because he became the head coach.
Yeah, absolutely. So
we got a question by Vinny, Chris, and Matt. Why isn't Appenzeller starting? I think it's because you have 3 decent and capable starters.
I mean, that's one thing, but also if he's doing well where he's at right now, why mess with the good thing?
Exactly. He could be like that perfect. You know how we did a couple of years ago where I can't remember the pitchers' names, bro.
You had Chris Stamos started the game.
Yes, and he would almost get you like 2 innings, and then they would immediately go to whoever.
Oh, I can't remember his name, but it was the like the sidearm guy. Yeah, cannot remember his name.
Where I follow baseball, but like I know exactly what I'm talking about, just don't know the players. It's hard for me to remember all these players. But yes, I remember. But they could almost do something like that with Appenzeller.
Well, here's the thing right now. So, in my opinion, you have got 6 guys that you could either have them start the game or be the first one out of the bullpen, and that is your 6 guys that have gotten the most time. You've got Landon Mack, Evan Blanco, Brandon Arvidsson, Appenzeller, Nick Abraham, and then I'm missing one. It's Evan Blanco, Landon Mack, and who's the Tegan Kuntz. Tinky Coons is the other one. You've got those 6 guys right now that I feel like you can either have them start the game or have them come out of the pen and be that long reliever to get you to your bullpen. So I just feel like what you've got going right now is working, at least to start off the game. But where you're lacking is that bullpen trying to close things out in the late innings.
What about Blaine Brown? Is that like a future there? I know he's pitched in like 3 midweek games, but the two-way player, obviously, known for his offense. So like, I don't know if he'll be able to pitch because the way we do the DH thing. I don't know.
Well, here's my rebuttal to that. If you have him pitch, why not go ahead and just let him hit?
Yeah.
And then you DH for somebody else, like a Jay Abernathy that's not hitting well. Play what's his name? It's not a Huno. That's a couple years ago.
What's up, Rhonda? I'm late tonight. You're kind of making it a habit, Rhonda. Come on, now. Lock in. No, I'm joking. It's fine. Vandy Chris says, Bo Rudy. Man, look, Bo Rudy had some stuff, but, man, he makes that mistake, I feel like, almost every outing.
He makes one mistake.
Yeah.
It's a big one.
And it's a big one. But I think Bo Rudy is absolutely a talented guy out of the pen. I wish
like
we had
got talent in the pen.
What if Josh Elander, okay, real quick, kind of does something that he did with Burns? What if you take a starter and almost make them a closer? Because I almost feel like that's what he needs. Because we do not have a certified closer.
But do we have that?
Do we have the depth of the starting?
Well, do we have that explosive guy like Chase Burns was that can come in and be that closer? I mean, that's my only thing. And I mean,
let it be Appenzeller. let Appenzeller come in the 7th inning and let that man finish the game. Like, seriously. And if he only has to go an inning or 2, then he can do it multiple games. So maybe that's what we need to do. Either way, I think the baseball, man, I'm not overrated. I think the state of the baseball program, other than the fear of like mental, I'm gonna say mental health issues, but like they got to continue to try to overcome this adversity. They got to be resilient because the way they've been losing these games is absolutely gut-wrenching, but they are in almost every single game. They've got the talent. They've got the players. I wish the offense was a little bit more explosive, but at the end of the day, man, they're not a bad team. I don't care what the record says. They're okay. They just got to figure out a way to close out these games, and a lot of it starts with the pitching in the bullpen. So, yeah, I'm fine with it. It is what it is. I'm not overreacting.
You know what the good thing about this season is for SEC baseball? It seems like almost everybody is having a down year, except for
Texas.
Really, Georgia and Texas.
Yeah, I told you Texas was going to be the best in the SEC.
Yeah, but right now Georgia is top of the conference. They're 10-2 in the conference. Texas 9-3. Alabama is 8-4. And from there, you've got Texas A&M, Mississippi State, and Florida all at 7-5. You've got Kentucky, Auburn, LSU, and Vandy all at 6-6. Oklahoma, Ole Miss, and Arkansas at 5-7. Then Tennessee at 4-8, Missouri at 3-9, and then South Carolina at 2-10. And you've only got one team in the conference that is below 500 with an overall record right now. So I mean, really, it's still anybody's ball game as far as the standings go because of how close together everybody is. So I mean, that's one thing that you can look forward to is that there is still a chance that Tennessee gets out of this, puts himself in good position for postseason play. But, you do have to figure some things out. And really, I just feel like it's that end-of-the-game bullpen situation that you need to get figured out.
They got to figure out a way to get a sweep, period. One sweep alone gets you right back into the thing. I mean, who they got this weekend?
I think this weekend is Mississippi State.
They don't get easier. But, I mean, if you could literally go and get 3 from Mississippi State, you're now 7-8 in the conference, and you're right back in the thick of it. You're clearly not going to like get a regular season win, but like as far as like being in right there in the postseason hunt, like you're fine. You just got to find a way to win a series or sweep a series and then continue to win series.
I'm not going to try to bank on this weekend getting the sweep, but I think next weekend against Ole Miss, I think that's the best chance that you got of doing that. The game's at Lindsey Nelson, or the series is at Lindsey Nelson. This weekend is in Starkville. That's going to be tough playing down there. What do they call it? The Dude? Is that what they call it down there? Something like that. And yes, Chris, Georgia is definitely a problem. But, Georgia's very beatable. I mean, Tennessee lost 2 games of that series that they very easily should have won. So, Alabama's been playing really well lately. So,
I'm sorry.
The ding-a-ling bells.
I think the cowbell. I can't believe you just read that out loud. That's crazy.
Alabama's been playing really well lately, and even though UGA swept them, Mississippi State is very good as well. Ace Reese from MSU might be the player of the year in the SEC. Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, every team in the conference has their players. I mean,
people counting out Tennessee, man. I tell you what, say the program's fine. Okay, the whole purpose of this was just to find out what the state of the program is. Okay, there is maybe an orange flag raised, pun intended, but there's nothing that screams red flag. I think this team's going to be fine.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they're going to figure some things out.
Fine. We all know this was going to be a down year, man. Why is this a surprise, bro? Seriously, why is this a surprise?
I fully believe that even if Vitello was here, we would have our struggles this season. Now, could Vitello have possibly made it a little bit better season starting off? Maybe. Or maybe he struggles a little bit worse. You never know. But I feel like this is about what we were going to see, whether it was Vitello or whether it was Elander.
I agree with you.
Tell me that Vandy, Tennessee, Florida, and LSU were all unranked. Yeah, you're 100% right on that.
Vitello's 1-5 in the MLB right now. So I mean, it's he's going through his own struggles.
Hey, he's 6 games in. He's already been ejected once.
And he was wrong, bro. That was so dumb. I don't know why he did it. I think maybe it was just to fire up his team or something. But he was dead wrong. Whatever. Did you see the shoes he's wearing though?
See,
that wasn't Giants orange, baby. That was that Pantone 151. Yes, sir. All right,
that's exactly
here we
right.
go.
But
he loves this still. It still hurts, but he loves this. All right.
But I do want to take this time before I give our segment 2 sponsor to say we appreciate all of our viewers tonight. We've seen a lot of new viewers. I know Chris is in for the first time. He commented several times. We got several other new viewers as well. Make sure that you do give us a subscribe on YouTube if you don't mind. You don't have to watch us all the time or anything, but if you give us a subscribe, it helps us out. I do want to give a shout out on Facebook, however, though. Over the last couple of days, we have gained 100 followers on Facebook. It's been an insane growth there on Facebook this past week, so I do want to give a shout out to all of our new viewers, new followers there. So, really trying to grow things, and we appreciate all the help that we can get there. So, had to be the weakest ejection I've ever seen.
You can't get up in their face, bro. This ain't college.
There's no telling what was said because Vitello is very, very animated. And Chris, we really appreciate that, the sub and the like, and that definitely helps us out.
Oh, I was joking.
Overall.
I've got Facebook. I've had Facebook since I was 9 years old. Thanks to Farmville. I know y'all remember that. I know y'all remember that. That's how I got my Facebook for the first time. I got it for Farmville, baby. Let's go. No, all right. What's next? Segment 2 sponsor. Let's go.
Yeah, segment 2 sponsor. That sponsor is Kaizen Painting. Do you want a colorful life? Kaizen is a painting and drywall company that provides residential, commercial, exterior, and interior services. At Kaizen Painting, we understand the importance of a beautifully painted home and properly installed and repaired drywall. We're here to bring your vision to life. We care about providing you with personalized, efficient, and quality service. If you live in Knoxville and surroundings, contact us for a free estimate at KaizenPainting.com. Color your life the Kaizen way. So,
bro,
softball.
Who didn't play Farmville, bro? Come on, man. I had the crops going crazy. All right, we got to get off this. I'm going 15-year nostalgia over here.
You're gonna get back on Farmville tonight. So.
I kind of want to know if it's still a thing. Is that still a game, bro? I might have to try it out, dude.
I want to think I've seen ads for it, but anyway, back on topic. Softball. I don't see this taking much time because in my opinion, for softball, even though, yes, they've lost a couple of series that they shouldn't have, that Ole Miss series, you lost the Florida series, and I'm not even going to say that they shouldn't have lost that Florida series. That was a tough one on the road, a top 10 opponent. You still played very well, but Florida just got a couple of breaks. You've still lost a couple of games that you shouldn't have, but this team is still very much in the hunt, not just for the SEC, but for a Women's College World Series national title. So what had happened was at the beginning of the season.
What had happened was?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So what happened at the beginning of the season, Tennessee just was firing on all cylinders. And some of the teams that they played, they made some early season mistakes that Tennessee capitalized on. So it made it look like Tennessee wasn't as far behind as they really were. Got into conference play, had a couple of things come out as far as some of the defensive mistakes, some of the bats not coming around as well, a little bit of pitching mistakes too. They started rearing up, and they couldn't overcome that in the first couple of games. A lot of young players, things like that.
Yeah.
They know what's going on. They're fixing it. And I feel like we saw some improvement this weekend against South Carolina. There's still a lot of things that they still need to fix.
Yeah.
But I've got my full trust in Karen Weekly.
I mean, yeah, I think if anybody thinks that the state of the program's in jeopardy because of the last 2-3 weeks, whatever. I will say it hurt my soul that I went out there, supported the ladies on a Friday. For them to get mollywopped 5-1, and it wasn't even close, to be honest with you. I sat out in the sun in the outfield porches, okay? No shade, no nothing. I did have a buffalo chicken taco. That was bussin', dude. They had a food truck out. Whatever. Anyways.
Is that a paid endorsement?
No, but I'm just saying if you go to the games, they some good food. It's not like your typical concession stand, which, I mean, I'm fine. Baseball season, I actually love concession stand food. But, whatever, dude. Buffalo chicken walking, it's not even walking taco. It's like the two real tacos. If you go to the game, you know what I'm talking about, okay? All right. Anyways, no, man, it was a good atmosphere. I was kind of worried how it was going to be with the baseball team and the softball team having a series at the same weekend. Could not tell you. I literally didn't notice a difference. Sherry Parker Lee was absolutely packed out to the top. It was loud. Unfortunately, Carlin Pickett just didn't have her best game. You seen her be a little inefficient, hit the backstop like a million times, and just overall walk too many people. Did not feel it as well. And then you put Aaron Newer in a spot where she's got bases loaded, no outs, and that's just a tough spot to be in. So that's just an unfortunate game, man. But overall, you are in a midseason slump. You got to get the bats come back around, get hot. But I think it's perfect to have the slump now than in the postseason. So
yes, 100%.
Let's work through these issues. Totally fine. We clearly have the talent to beat anybody in the country, and we've proven that already, honestly. So, yeah, I'm not really worried about it.
I do have a question for you, though. Do you think that, Carlin Pickens had that shoulder injury come up right before SEC play started? Do you think that's still bothering her some? Because we haven't seen Carly Pickens at her best this year. This is her stats right now. She's got a 1.34 ERA, which is the highest on the team. A 10-4 record. She has pitched 83 1/3 innings, given up 33 hits, 20 runs, 16 of them earned, 42 walks, and 108 strikeouts. To put that into perspective,
that's a lot of walks.
Sage Marjetko, who, by the way, has been pitching fantastic this season, has pitched 73 2/3 innings. She has given up 2 more hits, but given up 7 less runs, only 21 walks, so half the walks that Carlin Pickens has, and 106 strikeouts, which is only 2 less than Carlin Pickens.
Yeah, but according to your stats, man, that shoulder is not the reason why her stats are like that. Clearly, this is a season-long issue. I think it could be the way we're utilizing Carlin Pickett, coming out of the pen a little bit more and not necessarily starting a game start to finish.
Could be.
It could also be the fact that she's got 4 years of film on her. I mean, batters are watching exactly what her cadence is and what her go-to pitch is in certain situations and certain counts. There could be a lot of things leading up to that, but at the end of the day, the one thing she's got to work on is just believing. I don't think the shoulder's the issue. I think what happens is the shoulder caused her to get out of rhythm. It changed her daily routine. It changed her weekly routine. And now she's having to find that groove again now that we're already in the season. That's hard to do, man. That really is. It's hard to get thrown off your rhythm and then getting right back into it. So I don't know. I don't think that's the reason we're losing games. Period. I think it's our offense all day long. I mean, even when Carlin Pickens ain't feeling it, usually she only gives up about 2 to 3 runs at most in a game. And the offense has to score more than that, period. So we'll come around. It is what it is.
Yeah, I agree. It was just, kind of food for thought looking at that. And it looks weird
knew
when
what
you
you
go
meant,
down
baby,
that.
Chris. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm actually I got to pay respects to this Vandy guy, okay? Because he knows more people on our team than I think half of our fans do. So
You're probably right.
between the baseball, the softball, he's named some football play. The guy knows ball, okay? I ain't got to question it. I respect it. I appreciate you tuning in and listening to us. Yeah. Ron even says, we got to hit the ball. And that's that. I mean, seriously. I mean, we really – and not even hit the ball, but, got to string hits together. That Saturday game or Friday game, that was the middle. We had, 4 or 5 hits in that game, but there was, 1 hit per inning. It was terrible. We couldn't string hits together. When we got a lady on base, we couldn't move her productively, at least. We got to figure out a way to string hits. It's supposed to be contagious. Base hits are supposed to be contagious. And for this team, it's just not been. Home runs have been at times. They've hit 2 or 3 in a row. But
because I feel like we've got, going up and down the lineup, we've got players that can go out and they can get you hits when need be. But it's kind of like you said. You've got to be able to string these together. You can't get 1 hit and then all of a sudden you go down next 3 batters because that's not doing anybody good. You got to get one person on, then string together another hit and string together 1 more. And then, hey, you've got at least 1 run. You might have 2 runs coming across the plate at that point. And then that's huge. Then next inning, you get another run. You work a walk here and there. And then another hit. There's another run. You've got to be able to string these together to try to put some runs up on the board. You can't just get 1 hit per inning and expect that to get it done overall.
I'm ready to talk about the sport.
I mean, let's do it, man. I don't have anything else on softball other than they're going to be totally fine.
Totally fine.
Now, what I will say.
Let's recap. Stay the programs. Men's basketball.
They're fine.
Ladies basketball.
It's on the fence.
We're concerned.
we are concerned. We're
We
very
are concerned, but we're trying to make this a positive, right? Where clean slate. Let's ride, So concerned, but what's going to happen? We do have to show support, though. We do.
Yeah.
Period.
100%.
We can't be against it. All right, so baseball.
They're fine.
I think so too, man. I mean, obviously it's not been the year we wanted. We've had some terrible luck, especially against Vanderbilt again. That was a crazy series, bro.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, if it weren't for that series, we'd probably be talking completely different about this team. Softball. Fine.
Might be the best program in the entire athletics department.
I agree. All right, cool. Football. Let's get it.
Yep. Let's go on to football. So,
Straddling the fence.
yeah, absolutely.
I think you talk about the ladies' ball, the ladies'
Yeah.
ball's basketball. Yeah. Can't be on the
100%.
fence there, Rhonda. Can't be on the fence, Rhonda. All right, go ahead. Football.
All right. Football. So obviously we were right on top a couple years ago. Made the playoffs first time.
Number 1
the Tennessee
in
had
the
made
initial
the
playoff
playoffs.
rankings?
Yeah.
Boy, did that end well.
Yeah. So you're going back even further than I was, getting the number 1 initial ranking in 22. Fell off a little bit in 23. 24 is whenever you made the playoffs. And, of course, this past season, you fell down a little bit. So, Golden Broom Podcast, appreciate you tuning in. The sport. Does it concern you that George McIntyre is in year 3 as a 5-star, and it is very possible that he is not the starter, might be behind Faison. So, he is just in year 2.
He is just in year 2, and he actually was a 4-star in the composite ratings. So
he was a 5-star though.
We all said he was a 5-star, but honestly, when it came down to it, he was a 4-star. Let's be real.
So I mean,
you know what? I'll give it to you. Whatever. I'll give him 5 stars. Fine.
Does it concern me?
Genuinely, Faison and George McIntyre had the exact same amount of eligibility left.
Yes, because George got the red shirt.
Correct. So he alludes to he's hearing that Georgia's making some very bad mistakes in spring ball. Well, unfortunately, so is Fajon Brandon. Man,
Yes.
that's it's called being a freshman, and it's spring ball. Like, man, your seniors are going to make bad mistakes in spring ball. In fact, I watched it happen today.
And also, and Skylar will be able to tell more than I will because he's seen it in person.
You're but stuck into that. No,
but from some of the things I've heard, he is making those mistakes. He's holding on to the ball too long, taking too many sacks, but he's also doing the best job out of everybody at moving the ball down the field. So there's a little bit of give and take there. Ultimately, it's going to be a long spring, long summer, and who knows who's going to win the job in the fall. Does it concern me that maybe Fajon's ahead of him? No, not really.
No. And I'll tell you why it doesn't concern me right off the bat is just look at the physical difference between the two guys.
Yeah.
You've got George McIntyre, 6'6", maybe.
String bean.
Yeah, 195 or 200. I don't know. I'm not looking at the action. But I'm telling you, the kid looks like a pencil stick. Then you got Fajon Brandon, 1 inch shorter at 6'5", and the dude looks like he's been playing SEC ball for like the last 3 years. Let's just be honest. Yeah. The dude is bigger than Hendon Hooker. I mean, he is built. And I'm like, okay, all right. Let me tell you one thing I do think I know for certain. And this is really going to bite me in the butt if I'm wrong. But I don't think Ryan Staub's in this one. You know, I kind of wanted it to be a three-way battle. I think he is a designated third string. I don't even think he's competing for second string. And the reason why is I think he's got a great arm and I think he's got great knowledge of the game. I just don't think the guy,